Hey everybody, this is the Sliders Review, and I'm here today to talk to you about how Birds of Prey and fabulous emancipation of one Harley Quinn just missed the mark. This isn't going to be so much a review, I just don't want to talk about this movie for that long. And I hope to God this doesn't turn out to be a long video because I really don't want it to be. But this movie really just upset me. This movie should have been great. It should have been cool. A lot of my favorite DC characters are in this movie. And 3 celebrities who I like are in this movie. But yet, they just dropped the ball with this movie. And one of the reasons why is because the director just didn't do a very good job. And not only did the director not do a very good job, but the writer as well. And you know, yeah, it just, yeah. And you know, it's just, I don't get how they dropped the ball so hard with this movie. You had cool characters, but you messed up somehow. And I don't understand how that is. And the name alone was the biggest mistake of them all. Now, as a result of this movie, the writer Christina Hodson and the director Kathy Yang, well, they haven't done very much since then. Basically, Kathy Yang has been put into director's jail. It's a place where directors, when their movie don't do so well, Hollywood loses faith in them and pretty much just never hires them for nothing. Joel Schumacher is famous for this because after the flop of Batman and Robin, his career pretty much ended. And he stayed there until sadly he passed away. And he really didn't do much after that because nobody trusted him with a big blockbuster hit no more. And when it comes to Kathy Yang, the same thing has happened to her. This movie came out in 2020. Before she ever made like a big movie, she made a bunch of short films and everything. And she's made a couple. She made about 9 or 10 of them. And so they was all short films. But then she had 2 featured films. One is Dead Pigs, which I've never seen. And of course, Birds of Prey. Since Birds of Prey, she's only done one other thing. An episode of Succession, and I've never even watched that show. And so Dead Pigs apparently did well and everything. But like I said before, she is in director's jail. Now, Christina Hodson, she fared no better. She hasn't done much since either. She's worked on Bumblebee, Unforgettable, Shut In. Unforgettable was a movie, Shut In was a movie, Bumblebee of course is a movie, then there was Birds of Prey. I think she wrote the Batgirl movie, the one that's supposed to come on HBO Max, and as we all know, that now has got erased. She has worked on The Flash, and that has been delayed because of Ezra Miller being Ezra Miller and stuff. So it's not looking very good for her either, and it's a shame because both women are diverse. They're women, they're Asian, and it's nice to have diversity in Hollywood. But like I said before, don't blame woke culture for this stuff bombing. It bombed because they don't have that many projects under their belt and many successes and stuff. And so when you don't have much success under your belt, then what do you think the future is really going to come out like? You know what I'm saying? And you also have to remember that a lot of these people who are people of color and women in Hollywood, they don't get much exposure or talk that well like the male white people of Hollywood. That's one reason why white males do so great in Hollywood and make all these like amazing movies and TV shows and stuff. they've been giving like the privilege of making stuff and going to school and getting that education to teach them how to do this stuff in Hollywood, which a lot of the people of color don't and everything. So when they make a movie and it flops, people want to say, oh, it flopped because it was diverse and stuff like that, but and it was woke, but that has nothing to do with it. And so like with this movie, this all came because of one thing and one thing only: Harley Quinn. See, Harley Quinn has always been a fan favorite, but even though she was popular and everything and had her own comic book series at a point in time and has been shoved into other comic books like Justice League, Suicide Squad, stuff like that, she was never really a household name through a bigger scope of audience, right? And so, but with the, well, I can't even say the name of this no more. I said, I'll just say the S Squad, because YouTube, you know how they are. The S Squad movie. Harley Quinn blew up. She blew up big time. And why did she blow up so hugely? Because of her outfit. They sexualized the crap out of her outfit to where she didn't even look the way she did in the comics and stuff. Basically, she wore underwear and a tight t-shirt, and her butt cheeks were showing all throughout the movie. And this cosplayed like crazy, which is funny because this was around the Me Too era movement, right? And so many women have been saying for decades they're tired of being sexualized in movies and TV shows. They said it's not fair, they have to bear it all, and men don't. So you think women would have been upset with her outfit, but no, women is the one who made it famous and made it cosplay. Insane how that works. The very people who complained about that cheered it on and made it popular. So, with the popularity of now Harley Quinn and people loving Margot Robbie as Harley Quinn, because she did a good job in the S movie. She reminded me of the earlier days of Batman the Animated Series. She wasn't over the top, and she was just subtle enough to be humorous. But that depiction and version of Harley Quinn was never a real Harley Quinn. Just go back and watch Batman the Animated Series and you'll see exactly what I mean. But Harley Quinn has been in live action before. And the Birds of Prey TV show I talked about, go watch that video. And she's been in other adaptations, but she's never been popular. She's been in animated movies and other Batman animated series, but she never reached the height as she did with the S Squad movie. Now, because of this, Harley Quinn is everywhere. And they're shoving her down our throats the way they shove Batman down our throats. As a result, Harley Quinn got her own TV series. As a result, she was put in a Batman animated movie, which was terrible and stuff. And as a result, they gave Margot Robbie a choice. What next movie project do you want? Gotham Sirens or Birds of Prey? Well, she didn't want to get overshadowed with another bunch of supervillains, so she picked Birds of Prey, and she had creative control. And that was a huge red flag. Stop giving your celebrities creative control. Now, I like Margot Robbie. I've liked her ever since I saw her in Pam Am, and I've been a fan of hers. And that was the first and really only thing I ever saw her in until, like, these DC movies and stuff. And so, like, you know, even though she's done other stuff, it never really truly made her a household name where there wasn't some, oh, you know, she was like sexy in this or like nude in this or what's going on between her and Will and stuff like that, you know. But, you know, the S Squad movie made her a household name. And so, like I said before, they gave her the option and she picked this. These studios need to stop letting their stars decide stuff, because not only did she star in this movie, but she produced it as well. And so she got to pick Birds of Prey, which Harley Quinn has never been in Birds of Prey. Harley Quinn has never been in the S Squad, and Harley Quinn, I don't even think, was she ever in Gotham Sirens? I can't remember. But she should have picked that movie. And if she wasn't going to pick that, she should have just made this a breakup movie between her and Joker. And, you know, sadly, that was never going to happen because at that time, Jared Leto was being an idiot with all his method acting and stuff like that. And I think he probably said something that pissed a lot of folks off when the S-Squad movie came out. And he was just acting like an idiot. He was putting, like, you know, used condoms and sent it to his cast. He had like dead rats in boxes and sent those to the cast. He was just weird because he method acted when he played the Joker. It's like, dude, either you have it or you don't. Joaquin Phoenix had it, turned it on, turned it off. Jared Leto does not have it. And so this really should have been a breakup movie between her and the Joker, similar to that of the Harley Quinn HBO Max show. Like, it should have just been a breakup movie, and then either something similar to the Harley Quinn or the Batman animated series episode where she's trying to redeem herself, but no matter what, bad stuff is happening. And it causes people to chase after her. That's what the movie should have been about. But it wasn't. Instead, it was an attempt to try to be like the Deadpool movie. And DC needs to stop trying to be like the Deadpool. Stop trying to be like the MCU and all the Marvel movies. Just do your own thing. And they couldn't. And it failed big time. Because see, the thing about this is like, she talked throughout the entire movie. When she was on screen and narration on top of that. It was too much, especially with her fake accent and everything. And this Harley Quinn was way more wackier than she was in the S-Squad movie. And she was too wacky, almost to where she was a cartoon character. And that was very jarring and everything. It's like it was hard to take her even a little serious. Now in S-Squad, she was more serious, but had a little wackiness to her, but not much. She wasn't as zany as she was in this. And her outfits in this episode were, but this movie was over the top. I could never see Harley Quinn wearing any of these outfits as she did in her Birds of Prey movie. Like, I can't, you know what I'm saying? They just seem too silly. Like, I can't even see the cartoon version wear anything like that. And she should have worn like maybe some type of outfit, maybe like a costume, probably, because it is her movie and stuff, you know. But it is hard to translate her comic book and cartoon outfit into that of live action. It's just very, very, very hard. And so, like, but, you know, if cosplay people can do it, I'm sure she can, or at least modify the outfit. There's been lots of modifications to that of the outfit. Now, I will say she did look great in this movie. Like, I'm glad she put back on her weight because she was too skinny in the S-Squad movie. And so this reminds me of how she was in Pan Am. Like, when she blew up the Joker's factory and started walking out, that was a great walk. You know what I'm saying? But this movie, just like Harley Quinn, was too wacky, too zany all the time. And it never tried to slow down. The thing about Harley Quinn is you get to take her in small doses. You can't take on full throttle and everything. Because when you take her in small doses, it's better for the audience. When she's there full time, it's really, really, really hard to like not be annoyed by her. Especially now how Harley Quinn is everywhere now. You know, she's in so many animated series. She's in so many like animated movies. The Batman Telltale games had her as the boss and had Joker as the henchman who lost his memory and stuff. It's like, what the world was that? It was a weird take on that. And she wore like this leather outfit. Kind of like a biker outfit, and they try to like reimagine her again, and it was just like a weird take on that Harley Quinn. And then of course, you know, she's been in Birds of Prey, the TV show, where she was just a psychiatrist, and she's in the new S-Squad video game and everything. It's just like there's too much of her right now. And it's not getting any better because she never reached the heights of her Batman the Anime days or the HBO Max show, or like, you know, how she was in the S-Squad movie and stuff. She's just becoming over too saturated, similar to Batman and similar to that of Wolverine and all those X-Men movies and stuff and spin-offs and like the animated series and stuff. So that is like a major like part of the movie that misses the mark. It's just too much Harley Quinn, like just way too much. And another thing about the S-Squad movie is I hate how they depicted her as being worse than the Joker. They said she's smarter than the Joker. She's ruthless than the Joker. She's more crazy than the Joker. This is the freaking Joker we're talking about. She was a clinical psychiatrist and he was able to manipulate her and make her go to a life of crime. That's not smart on her part, you know what I'm saying? And so like, and you can clearly tell that the actress did not want to be overshadowed in this movie because the other characters in the movie, some of them are reimagined versions of their comic book counterparts, and other ones are, you know, they're similar to them, but not really. And they were added into the movie for no reason and don't really serve a point. And some don't even show up until the middle of the movie. And it's just kind of like, you know, I don't get it. It would have been, it would have been nice if she tried to branch out on her own and get some goons and this and that, but things didn't work out. Or like I said, her just having a zany adventure and somebody had to try to like stop her. And that somebody could have been then Renee Montoya, or, you know, somebody like that, you know what I'm saying? Because that was a great episode in Batman the Anime series when Harley started pissing everybody off when she tried to just buy a dress and accidentally stole it by mistake. And everybody just started chasing her, and then she tried to hang out with some goons, and then they tried to chase her and everything, and then the police was chasing her, and Batman was chasing her. That would have been perfect. Now, another reason why this movie missed the mark is because, okay, its depiction of men, every man in this movie is like a terrible person. Like they either trying to kill somebody or like torture somebody. And even the one nice guy, the older Asian man, betrayed her for money. And you thought out of anybody he would help her, but he didn't. And it was just so heartbreaking. And it's just like this modern day of women empowerment to where you have to make all the men into monsters. It's not working. That's not real women empowerment. Go watch Xena. Go watch Dark Angel from the Fox series. Go watch Queen of Swords. Like, you will see real female empowerment where guys aren't like monsters and stuff. Some are bad, yeah, but not every single last person. Another thing about this movie is that even though it is a comic book movie, it is set in some type of realism. So the fact that she was able to break into like the police station and fire confetti at the cops, and that took them down, and they're shooting her with bullets and nothing's like hurting her and stuff, that was too unbelievable. It was ridiculous and it was stupid. Now I will say the fight scene at the end in the abandoned warehouse was pretty cool. The chase scene after that, I just don't believe it. Her on roller skates able to catch up with that car and do all this other stuff, you know, it was just weird. I also think they missed the mark by trying to make Harley into an anti-hero and then into a hero so soon. We barely know her in the DCEU, and already she's been nothing more but an anti-hero in every depiction she is in. Even at the S-Squad movie, she is an anti-hero who later turns into a hero. We've never truly seen her be bad and everything. We, the audience, know who she is if you're a comic book fan, but, you know, other people don't and stuff. And they missed the mark big time on that. You have to see her be bad before we can see her be good and everything. Now, another way they missed the mark was the depiction of all the side characters. Seriously, they're only characters by name. Like, and in some of them, there's no point in them even being in the movie. It's like you could take them out and it won't add to nothing. Take Huntress. there's no point for her being in this movie. She's only in there because she is actually in the Birds of Prey and in the comics and stuff. And it's just like they went through her backstory, which they really didn't have to because she's not a major player in this movie. She's just a side character. And not only that, but they went into her backstory to give why she's going after all these mob people. And so basically she's in like, it's kind of like she's like the D plot of this movie or something like that. Her family got wrong, she's here to avenge them, and that's it. And then somehow she meets up with Harley and, you know, the girl, because she's trying to off one of the bad guys who's after Harley and Cassandra and stuff. Then after that, she's all like, okay, fine, I'll join y'all. And it's just kind of like, nah, man, that's just, you take her out the movie. She's pointless. The actress who plays her, her performance is neither here nor there. It's just like, just something. So I don't really have like a take on it, you know, because it just didn't feel like the real Huntress. And I have seen some good Huntresses in both animation and that of the Arrowverse. Like that one they had in Arrow was awesome. And it's just like she was pointless. Now her outfit was the closest to that of a comic book depiction, but it was still altered to look like that whole S Squad David Ayer reimagined look. You know what I'm saying? And Renee Montoya, she's a cop in this, yes, but she's not that hard-nosed cop that everybody knows and loves. She's basically a cop who gets disrespected by every man she sees, and to the point where she gets kicked off the force and everything. And it's just, now I feel bad for Rosie Perez, because Rosie Perez can actually act, and she can actually play a good cop. And like a show, is just, she's wasted in this and stuff. Like, it just seems pointless. And you know, the whole, she was able to figure out by just Harley blowing up, like, you know, Joker's warehouse, that, oh, it must mean that she broke up with the Joker. That don't mean nothing. It could mean anything. Maybe one of the explosions just went off. Maybe somebody framed her. Maybe she was just being zany and decided to blow it up. Like, you know what I'm saying? And so then there's Black Canary in this. And like they reimagine her to be just like a person who sings in a thug bar. And she's basically, you know, just like, she's not a villain, but she does interact a lot with the villains. And when they want her to do something, she'll do it. And, you know, her outfit was cool and everything, but it would have been nice to see her wear more of a comic book depiction of her outfit. And not to mention, she only used her canary cry, I think, once at the end of the freaking movie and everything. And that was just pointless. At that point, they shouldn't even have her do it. And so, like, I don't like this reimagining of her because she's not the Black Canary everybody knows from, like, the comics. There's no Ted Grant. She's not wearing a costume, you know. It's just like she's there just for the sake of being there because she's there in the comic. Now, I know some people complain, oh, she's black and she ain't supposed to be black in this. Well, get over that. But I will say this about the actress. I love the way she sings, but her acting just did not do it for me. She kept shouting a lot and everything. It reminded me of Patty from like the Ghostbusters reboot. She just kept shouting all the time and everything. And so as she has her epiphany and wants to protect Cassandra for no apparent real reason. And so let me get to the worst offender of them all, Cassandra Kane. They screwed that character up big time. Now, if you don't know who Cassandra Kane is, she has select mutism. She's a girl whose mother is like a trained assassin. She's a trained assassin. I can't talk. Trained assassin. She's very brutal and everything. But Batman takes her in and she becomes the new Batgirl. She has a killer costume from the comics. Her mask is that some sewn on like skull looking scarecrow type mask. It's amazing looking. She is tough, probably tougher than Damian Wayne and everything. And in this movie, it's none of that. She's only Cassandra Kane in name only. In this version, she's a pickpocket. For some reason, she has a cast on her arm because she broke it somehow. She steals a jeweled diamond. I'm not going to even get into the controversy of that. I don't know if it was reworked. I don't know if it was reshot. I don't know if it was originally a flash drive with certain pictures. I'm not even gonna get into that. But it is a jewel that she stole, and then when the bad guys are looking for her in it, she swallows it. So the whole movie is everybody trying to get to this diamond. And so they try to make her poop and everything. She's a foul-mouthed girl who's supposed to be mute. She's supposed to have select mutism. She doesn't like to talk. But she's a very emotional girl, because Batman took her in for a reason. Like, he saw the potential she had and the emotion, like, baggage that she had. And so, like, throughout this entire movie, everybody, like I said, is trying to get that diamond out of her. And so even Harley rats her out to save her own skin. Like, even Harley's a crappy person, but she admit, I'm a bad girl. Like, what do you expect, you know? And so they butchered the crap out of that character. And so then we get into the actual villains of the show, Black Mask and Victor Zsasz. Both were terrible depictions of them. Only in name only. Victor Zsasz does not act like that. He is a ruthless serial killer that after he murders somebody, he cuts himself as tally marks of how many people he has killed. He has scars all over his body because in the form of tally marks. The one in Gotham was so much better until they started to make him a little bit more comedic. And, you know, it's quite a shame. Then you get into Black Mask. My God, they butchered him. He is one of the coolest, newest Batman villains that they created. He's so cool. He's been popping up in animation and live action for the last decade or so. And more than that, probably 15 years. He made his appearance out of the comics in that of The Batman, the animated series. It was a cartoon on the WB. He was cool there. Then they put him in Batman, Under the Red Hood. He was amazing in that. They even had him on Batwoman in the second season. He was half decent in that. He was pretty cool. But then they kind of mucked him up by trying to like make him sympathetic. Then they had him in Gotham, and I didn't like him in Gotham or his mask. But then he also showed up in Catwoman Hunted. He's always been depicted as this ruthless, cool person with a mask. And the dude who played him, Obi-Wan Kenobi himself, Ian McGregor, just wanted to show his actual face throughout the entire movie. He was so flamboyant that it took away from who he is in the comics and stuff. And then he finally put his mask on towards the end, and not to mention, to give him some ruthlessness, he tortures women, not men, but women, out of fun. Now when it comes to men, he has their faces removed and stuff like that. But he was so over the top and wacky that it doesn't even feel like Black Mask. And then, so, like, you know, it's just this movie missed the mark in a million different ways. It could have been cool. It could have been great. It could have been awesome. I mean, heck, they even introduced the hyena, only one instead of two. Maybe they didn't have enough money for the CGI. But, like, you know, and it wasn't even the Joker who got the hyenas. It was Harley and stuff. And it's just kind of like they're overdoing it with Harley. They overdid it with this movie. I wanted this movie to be so good. I mean, it's so bad that they had to change the name of the movie while it was in theaters. It was called Harley Quinn. No, it was called Birds of Prey. Then they had to change that to Harley Quinn. Then they had to change it to the name I gave you in the beginning of this video. That's embarrassing. And they tried their best to think, hopefully then people will be like, oh, okay, well, since it's not really the Birds of Prey, maybe we can trick them. But no, there was no tricking. And then it's so bad that Sonic movie, people went to go see the Sonic movie and everything. And I don't even like that movie because you saw my review of that many years ago. And people went to that and praised that because why? There was a group of Harley Quinn fans who were trashing pretty much any movie that came out around the time that movie did, and that was Sonic. So people's all like, well, screw y'all, we're gonna go see Sonic. And that made Sonic box numbers go up big time because of all the haters that the Harley Quinn fans were. And it's just like they was celebrating a movie that wasn't even good on both sides. And you know, as a person who is a fan of Harley Quinn and the actual Birds of Prey and all those characters they had in the movie, they just ruined it. They dropped the ball big time. And there's a reason why the women who wrote and directed this movie are basically in writers and directors like jail and everything. Hollywood does not trust Kathy Yan at this point in time, which is a shame. But you know, like I said, you have to learn your craft before you get a big blockbuster movie. And that's the problem with Hollywood today. I'm all for diversity. I'm all for wokeness. But you just can't throw an amateur into a big blockbuster movie. It don't work that way. Like, it really don't. We saw that happen before, and not just with women. We saw that happen in The Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Mark Webb. The dude was known for doing music videos. He made a okay, pretty good first Spider-Man movie, but that second one just was not good. And you know, it happens and stuff like that. Like, you just can't throw in an amateur and expect this big blockbuster movie, because what they do on a small scale turns out to be pretty big. Mufasa did not die for this. Alrighty, well, I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.